Welcome to this explainer. Look, we're not here to debate politics today. Instead, we're going to put on our digital archaeologist hats. We're examining a very specific snapshot in time, a digital artifact from the Salem News Channel, complete with a 2026 copyright. We're going to unpack exactly how a media webpage is engineered to guide your attention, shape your perception, and, well, keep you clicking.
Okay, let's jump right in with the undeniably stark, highly polarized primary headline that anchors this entire webpage. It reads, Sarasota School Board celebrates Trump's latest near assassination. It's a jarring, explosive piece of text, right? It's literally designed to stop your scrolling dead in its tracks. When you land on this page, this is the center of gravity. Everything else we look at today just orbits around the intense emotional weight of that single massive claim.
So, here's our roadmap for understanding this whole digital ecosystem. First, we'll map out that main headline. Second, we'll look at the platform's context. Then, we'll categorize the trending articles into 3 buckets: political violence, elections and power, and culture and media. Finally, we'll tie it all together and look at the real impact of this curation.
All right, Section 1, the main headline. Let's direct our attention right to the center of the page, where the main video player absolutely commands the viewer's focus.
This primary video is hosted by Mike Gallagher, airing weekdays at 9 a.m. Eastern. But here's the kicker. It doesn't just play automatically. It sits behind an age verification gate. Think about what that does to you psychologically as a user. Before you've watched a single second of footage, the platform is signaling that what you're about to see is so serious, so mature, or maybe so controversial that you literally have to verify your age to get in. It instantly positions the broadcast as this highly provocative centerpiece.
But check out the metric right beneath that video: 0. Despite the incredibly explosive nature of that Sarasota School Board headline, this snapshot shows it currently has exactly 0 comments. It's fascinating, isn't it? You've got this massive, attention-grabbing claim, a prompt for age verification, and yet complete silence in the comments section. It's a really interesting disconnect between the intensity of the content and the immediate user interaction.
Moving right along to Section 2, Platform Context. We need to zoom out a bit and establish the precise environment that's actually hosting all of this content.
So, the site is the Salem News Channel, operating under a 2026 copyright. But the real key to understanding where we are lies in their newsletter pitch. It explicitly offers today's best conservative news without big tech bias. You see, this platform isn't pretending to be a neutral town square. It's actively identifying its target audience, promising a specific ideological lens, and framing itself as the alternative to big tech. That's how you instantly build a sense of shared identity and trust with your viewership.
Okay, Section 3, Theme, Political Violence. Now we're going to shift our focus over to the What's Trending sidebar and look at the security themes happening in these curated headlines.
Just inches away from that main video player, your eye is naturally drawn to these 3 adjacent headlines in the sidebar. We have, Does left-wing politics radicalize political violence? The left's justification of violence, and White House to review presidential security. Guys, this is absolutely not a random assortment of news. This is a highly deliberate thematic cluster. By grouping these specific stories together, the page mirrors and amplifies the exact same tension and threat level that was established by that main assassination-related headline.
And this perfectly captures user engagement at this exact moment in time. Look at this incredibly uniform, low level of immediate interaction across these really heavy topics. Each of these 3 highly charged articles shows exactly 1 comment. So we're seeing a baseline level of engagement, like a quiet, steady hum of activity across the platform's security-focused content, which is a sharp contrast to the absolute 0 we just saw on the main headline.
Let's turn to Section 4, Theme, Elections and Power. We'll see how the trending section pivots directly from physical security right into political control.
Over here, the curation is painting a very clear narrative of electoral conflict. We've got headlines claiming Dems want power and they'll do anything to get it, warnings that Trump may suffer a political defeat, and stories questioning the authenticity of grassroots movements, saying the No Kings protests are not organic. The architecture of this sidebar is telling a story. It's seamlessly shifting your anxiety from the physical threats we just looked at over to systemic political threats.
When we look closely at the metrics for this group, the headline claiming those No Kings protests are not organic is actually driving the highest engagement in this entire sidebar snapshot. It's sitting at 4 comments. I know, 4 sounds like a tiny number, but relatively speaking for this page, it's a spike.
It tells us that content challenging the authenticity of opposing political movements is what's truly compelling this specific audience to actively log in and fire off a response. And this intense focus on electoral battles isn't confined to the sidebar. It's heavily reinforced by the main video player's next cue, which automatically tees up a video titled, "Defeat at the Ballot Box, the Only Thing the Left Understands." Just look at that phrasing for a second. It frames the democratic process in absolute, combative terms. It's not about civic duty, it's a fight. The platform is designed to keep the user locked into a continuous loop of high-stakes political combat.
All right, Section 5, Theme, Culture and Media. For our final category, let's examine how the platform integrates broader cultural debates and media figures into the newsfeed to round out the whole experience.
Notice how this juxtaposition builds out the overall ecosystem. On one hand, you've got local, granular policy critiques, like California Democrats allegedly putting politics ahead of road safety. But directly alongside it, you have high-profile celebrity media feuds involving Jimmy Kimmel and Donald and Melania Trump. This mix ensures there's literally something for everyone. Whether you're fired up about local infrastructure or fully invested in celebrity culture wars, the sidebar is going to keep you clicking.
The page also weaves in these highly debated, deeply personal social issues. We see a headline about the Trump administration suing Minnesota over transgender athletes in girls' sports, and another asking, should your faith trump politics? Notice the engagement trends here too. That transgender athlete lawsuit draws notably higher interaction with 3 comments. The curation effectively uses these cultural flashpoints to maintain an emotional resonance whenever the user's attention might start drifting from the heavy political news. Finally, Section 6, the impact of curation. The absolutely crucial point here is connecting all these disparate elements we've talked about together.
You see, the architecture of this webpage is not an accident. It guides the reader through a meticulously crafted psychological journey. Step 1. You hook the viewer with an explosive, high-stakes main headline about an assassination attempt, and you gate it to make it feel important. Step 2. You surround that video with grouped peripheral articles that validate that exact sense of threat, focusing on violence and political power grabs. And Step 3. You sustain their interest as they scroll by integrating deeply felt culture war topics. It's a whole package. What we've just deconstructed today is a total masterclass in something called contextual curation. That's the intentional selection and grouping of peripheral online content, and it is doing heavy lifting here. Those trending headlines aren't just extra reading material, they act as an acoustic amplifier for the worldview presented in the main broadcast. They provide the evidence, the mood, and the context that makes the main headline feel like part of a larger, undeniable truth for that specific audience.
Understanding this kind of digital architecture is absolutely vital for media literacy in the modern age, no matter where you get your news. So I want to leave you with this final thought. When you view a primary headline online, how much is your understanding of that story being silently shaped by the architecture of the links, sidebars, and next up videos surrounding it? It's something to think about. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and as always, stay curious.